guys, in this video we're going to be painting Baby Yoda. So make sure you have your canvas ready, your brushes in your jar, and a towel for drying off your brushes. Just some water in there. And I've got my mixing plate here ready, so make sure you have that. And my paints. So I'm going to paint the background first, and I'm just going to do it a very, very light gray color. So it's going to be mostly white paint, and you're going to mix just a little bit of black in with it. Hold on while I get myself a little squirt of white. My plate, I just painted the rainbow peace sign, so I need a little bit more paint on there. I'm just reusing my plate. So we're going to make a light gray. You're going to take a little bit of black, stir it in with quite a bit of white. You don't need this much. I don't even need this much. My canvas is twice as big, so I do need more than you, but this is way a whole bunch. And it's just very pale gray, almost white. We could go a little bit darker, but it doesn't take very much black at all. And if you wanted darker gray, you would then of course mix more black in. Just up to you. It's your painting. So I've got that mixed in fairly well. And I'm just gonna come in and paint everything around my little guy here. And I'm just nice, thin, even coat of paint. I'm gonna come around. And my gray kind of changes the colors a little bit just because of when I mix my paint, some of the black is still in my bristles. So I just kind of smooth those out, try to spread it around. And I'm doing nice long strokes that helps keep my brush marks from showing up too bad. It's kind of like a very light-handed. You can go all the way from one end to the other to smooth those out. That works best. Coming around his ear. Nice long strokes to smooth everything out. And that looks pretty good to me. So next I'm going to do, let's do his face. I'm gonna take a Sharpie and just outline like his little facial features. So I'll do his eyebrows, his nose, his little mouth and chin. These we can go around easy enough. If you want to go ahead and Sharpie them, feel free. But the point of the Sharpie is so we can paint over top of everything and we won't lose the line. Like when we put paint on top of pencil, a lot of times we can no longer see the pencil, and that's not good. We want to see that pencil. So just take a marker. I use black. Here's just, just your permanent, typical black Sharpie. This is just a fine point, but mine's been turn into a little nub, because when you draw on these canvases over and over and over again, since they're kind of rough, it just wears down the tip. So just as long as you can get your lines covered with a Sharpie, that will be fabulous. So I'm gonna mix up a green color to paint him. And to do that, we are going to be using, let's see, you won't have this blue color, but we're gonna use this turquoise color and yellow. So a little bit of turquoise, not much, stirred in with quite a bit of yellow. Can always add a little bit more turquoise if we need to. I'm gonna get this turned like a real bright green. So I just added a little bit more turquoise. And it's super bright green. And we all know Yoda really isn't this nice, bright, shiny green color. So we're gonna make it a little bit dull. And to do that, and this is important, it's just a little bit of red. So just a tiny bit of red on my brush. I'm gonna stir that in as well. And that just kind of makes that green kind of murky and more like a Yoda green color. Now I'm also gonna add a little bit of white to that. Stir the white in. And well, now that's turned quite yellow. I think once it's on, it'll look better. Let me just check. We might have to make adjustments. No, we need to change that. More blue, turquoise. It's the joy of me videotaping on my first run through. I'm learning as I go. Let's see. That is a little better. I'm gonna add a little bit more red. Maybe just a smidge more. There, that looks pretty good. I'm going with it. I'm just gonna paint all over him. Don't do the insides of his ears, just the top part. I'm gonna paint right over top of his face. It's very brush strokey. So you're probably gonna wanna do a couple of coats just to help get good coverage. You wanna blend a little white in while you work. That a lot of times helps with brush strokes. Come up around this little neck collar thing. So I'll show you what it looks like if you blend a little white in. It just will help with your brush strokes. I need a clean spot of white. So let me just get a little bit of more white on my plate. I'm just taking a little bit of white. And if you just blend that through, it just kind of helps give them a little bit more coverage and you see less of those brush strokes. But nice long strokes. And don't forget his ear over here. Maybe a little white blended through to help with my brush strokes. Feel free to do another coat. I'm just gonna do one to keep the video short. This is your painting, so take your time and make it how you want it. So I got his head. He's gotta have his little hands done. So same color, maybe a smaller brush, whatever works best. got one little hand. Come over here and do his other little hand. Try not to have globs. Just start with little bits of paint on your brush. Just keep them smoothed out nice and even. All right, so I've got that done. We'll move on and do his little robe. And we're gonna make brown. To make brown, we're going to use that burnt orange color that's on your plate. I'll show you. Just getting my brush clean. So I've got this burnt orange color. It's called Venetian Red. So I'm gonna use 2 scoops of that and 1 small scoop of black. And I'm gonna stir that together. And it's gonna make like this nice brownish color. And then in that color, I'm gonna add white, so a pretty good scoop of white, and just stir it in. So now I have this nice brownish color. Just gonna keep stirring it till it's all the way mixed. And take it and just, I'm gonna paint right around his little hands and the heart. You might want to take your Sharpie. I didn't do it on that, and I can see already that I can't really see through where the little arm lines are. So I'll just go in. I can't now because that's wet, but I can see it kind of a little bit. So make sure you Sharpie. Or you could even, like if you don't have a Sharpie, I'm just trying to come up with different ideas. If you had maybe a crayon would work. Dark crayon. Oh, I should have done that too. My. So the bottom line, I can only do to here because I've already painted that and I don't want to get paint on my Sharpie. Just so that I know where that is. Because this is all getting painted brown too. So just take your time. Nice even coat. Painting around the heart. So I do on my outside edge kind of overlap onto my background some. That way I don't have any gap where I have no canvas showing. I don't want bits of my canvas still kind of peeking on the edges. So just overlap onto your background color a little bit. It's okay if it gets a little wider. So I've got him all filled in. A little bit of white blended into this as well would probably help smooth him out. So I'm just taking a little white. If it's dry, just add more brown on and it will blend. So you want the white to blend into that brown. If it's not blending and it's just laying on top and looks like you just put white on there, just take bits of brown on your brush and just smooth it all out. So there's this little collar. Come down and I can get the rest of his little outfit. And that white really helps clean up the brush strokes. If you don't want to do the white, just wait for it to dry and you can do another coat of brown and it will be a nice solid coat and you'll have very few brush strokes at that point. But this is my little cheat. So there, I've got all his little robe filled in. So next I can do inside of his ears, since I'm going to be using this color and just adding some red to it. So I'm just gonna stir some red in with the robe color and it's gonna make it kind of like this mauve-y reddish brown. Make sure you've got enough mixed up to fill in both of the ears. I'll start over here with this one. And I'll blend a little white through it. Doesn't take much, just a little on your brush. And just smooth out your brush strokes. And then I'll do the same over here. Fill this guy in with that mauve pinky red brown color. And then I'm just gonna blend in white. Just tiny bit of white on my brush. Okay, next I'm gonna do the heart, and I'm just gonna do bright red. Clean out my brush, just plain red to start. So just plain red to start. And you're gonna fill in this heart. So be careful around his fingers. Careful you're not putting your hand in wet paint like I just did. And one coat of red does kind of look a little pinkish. Solution to that is just a second coat, or you can just make your heart pink by adding white to it. That's up to you, whatever you want to do. A pink heart or a red heart. You could use a different color also if you wanted. You have that pretty turquoise color on your plate. You could paint it that color. Just being very careful around his fingers. They will be outlined later, so if you get a little messy, that's okay. That outline will cover it. See, like I just got a little messy. That's okay. It'll look nicer later once I get the outline on. So I've gotten one nice coat of red on there. I'm going to definitely do 2 coats on that. I'm going to blow it dry. And then I'm just going to go back in with another layer, nice thin even paint of red. And that just looks much nicer, much smoother, better coverage. No more white canvas showing through. There you go. So I've got the red. Now we can go and do his face. We're going to do the black things. So I'm going to be using a smaller medium brush, and I'm going to fill in the eyes first. So I'm just going to paint those black. So just some black paint, and just get these eye shapes filled right in. Just be nice and careful around your edges. Try not to rest my hand in wet paint. So don't worry about these little lines yet. We'll go in with a detailed brush when we do all of our outlines and do those lines too. I'm just making sure I get the Sharpie or pencil line covered up. There, I've got his little eyes. Now it's time to use a smaller brush. So find a small brush. I've got mine, and I'm just going to be using black paint, and I'm going to go in and do a bunch of outlining. So I'll start maybe over here with his ear. I'll do just the edge of his ears. Just being kind of careful. I do the inside. And all the way down. I'm going to do the side of his head. I'm going to do the whole head, but I'm over on this side because I don't want to start here and go over and then have to like rest my hand. Let me do the side of his little collar. That's dry. Come in under his head. So it's easier if you're sitting and have like a tabletop, which I'm sure that's how you all are, just sitting at your table, flat with it in front of you. It's a little more challenging. I'm over to the side at a weird angle. But I'm doing the best I can just to show you. So I might be a little wobbly. Do the top of his head. Maybe if I can rest my hand somewhere. Do this ear. And on his face, I'm going to do the eyebrows. You can do his little nose, his mouth, chin, and I'll do these little lines under his eyes. So I got his face done. I'm going to come down and finish with his little clothes. Oh, he needs little hairs. Let's give him little hairs. So just 1, 2, 3 little hairs. That's cute. I'm gonna finish with his shirt, robe, whatever we want to call it. Come down under. We got this collar. Around the outside. Here he's got the shirt comes down like his little sleeve, and here kind of comes in. Do his hands. Finish down the side of his little robe. Come over here. And we have his other hand and the heart. So I'm going to do this little sleeve. Just put my hand in wet paint right down here. So just be careful of where your hand is going. We all do it. And lastly, the little heart. Now I'm going to do a few little lines for, like, he's got some wrinkles in his collar. So I'll just put some little lines in there. And maybe down at the bottom like where his feet would be kind of up and under the robe. You could put like little wrinkles there. I'm gonna give him like little pink cheeks. So right up under the eyes, I'm gonna paint little circles, but I'm going to make them very, very light pink. So I have this mauvey brown color that I did the inside of the ears. I'm just gonna take just a dab of that and stir it in with quite a bit of white. So you see here, I just got this light pink color. It's like pinkish, just like this, just way lighter. So I'm gonna take that color and just paint little circles right under his little eyes, little cheekies, little circle cheeks. And then lastly, we just gonna put some white reflective circles in his eyes. And he's gonna be all done. So same small little brush or whatever you've got going on. A little bit of white paint, and each eye on the right hand side, I'm gonna do 2 circles. So up here on this one, a bigger circle there, and then underneath it, just a little circle. And I'm gonna do that on both. Maybe make this a little bit bigger. Yeah, I like that. So try to match it on this side. Bit bigger one up top. And then a little one underneath. And now Yoda is all done. You can sign your name. I'll use maybe a darker gray. I'll sign down towards the bottom right. That's where I almost always do. So my color, I'm just mixing, so I've got some black and some white. Maybe make a little bit of a darker gray. Add a little water. Ooh, sorry. Add a little water in with my paint just to help it flow. And come down here and sign my name. So when you're all done, if you would please take pictures and post so I can see your finished work. I love seeing them. I have a post on my Facebook page, Willy-Nilly. It's pinned right to the top. You can just upload your photos and share with me. Also, you can check out other people's artwork that have shared. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.